welcome back to my channel, Tabi, and I'm back with another exciting video. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're old, what it do? Thank you very much for coming back, deciding to click on this video, liking, commenting, sharing, and doing all the other amazing stuff. I really appreciate that. So last time I actually did a video where I was sharing some countries that are actually hiring besides China, since we don't know when borders are going to be open in China. So I felt like I wanted to share that with you guys so that you guys can go ahead and apply. And yeah, so today I decided that I'm going to be sharing some questions that you can expect when a company decides to invite you on an interview, just to see if you are the good candidate for them to hire you. And also these questions are like standard, it's like you don't have to go and work in South Korea to expect these questions, or work in Thailand or work in China. Anywhere you want to go, these questions, expect them, and normally when they do these interviews, they normally do these interviews online. They use platforms like Skype, Zoom, and Tencent, and all the other platforms. When I applied to come to China, my interview is actually on WeChat, because that's like the most used platform here in China. So it could be different depending on where you are actually going to be working. So without wasting time, let's just get straight onto the first question. So the first question would be, introduce yourself to us, or tell us about yourself. So here you can just basically tell them about yourself, how old you are, where you are from, your teaching qualification, and stuff like that. And then what I feel like is more important in this question rather is to share things that make you unique or different from all the other candidates that actually applied, things that are going to be useful in the role that you have applied for as an English teacher. So let's say, for example, you'll be working with kids, right? So having interesting things like being active in sports, probably you love running, you love playing soccer, you are good at baking, you're good at singing, you play the piano, you love reading, and you are good with working with people. That actually comes in very handy, because it shows that you're a very active person. You're a person that has interesting stuff that you can offer to the students when probably you have to do extracurricular activities with the students. You don't have to struggle that much in that. So if you share stuff like that about yourself, then I feel like that's a big win for you. The second question that you can expect is, why do you want to be a teacher? And honestly, you only have an answer to that. You are the only person that knows why you want to be a teacher. Is it your purpose? Is it something that you love? Do you love working with kids? Do you love working with children? Is it your belief when it comes to education? All of that stuff, you're the only person that knows why you want to be a teacher. I know to some people, like, they want to be teachers because, well, teaching abroad gives you financial freedom, you can make money and stuff like that. But then I feel like that is not really an important thing to say in the interview, but then you can just share the important stuff as to why you really want to be a teacher. So in that instance, well, I do not have an answer to that, because you are the only person that knows why you actually want to be a teacher. And then the next question would be, why do you want to teach in that country specifically? I mean, why do you want to come to China? You could have gone to South Korea, you could have gone to Taiwan, you could have gone to Thailand, you could have gone anywhere. Why did you want to go to that specific country? So with this one, my take is, I feel like it's important for you to actually do your research on that country before you actually go to the interview. For example, you can do your research on their culture, the food, the environment itself. You can tell them that probably you want to be a teacher in that country because you love their culture, you love their language, you want to be in that environment and experience it yourself. You like the attractions that they have to offer there. For example, with me, initially I had wanted to go to South Korea, but then when I got an opportunity to come to China, I had known some great things about China. Like, I spoke about the Great Wall because I actually liked the Great Wall. And also, like, there were interesting stuff that I actually wanted to experience, like learning how to speak Chinese, which is very funny because even now I still don't know how to speak Chinese. But, showing an interest in their country, because one thing I've noticed is that people who are actually from Asian countries are very proud of their countries. So, showing that you did the initiative, you did do some research on the country, and, some specific things like the food, the weather, the holidays, things that they celebrate and stuff like that, actually, gives them that, you have that zhuzh, and they do see like they become interested more in wanting to hiring you. So yeah, the next question that you can expect is, tell us about your teaching experience. So here you can talk about your teaching experience, like the time that you've worked as a teacher, the responsibilities that you had there, your class size, age groups, and so on. So these things actually help because the school actually has an idea of the type of training that they would have to offer to you. Is it intense training? Is it, not that intense, much like that intense training? And also, like, do you know what you are doing? Do you have an idea of what is expected of you? And also this helps when you want to negotiate a bit further, like on benefits and your salary and so on. So if you bring up stuff like that, like anything you did, okay, whether it was tutoring, giving extra classes, doing placement tests, anything of that sort is going to come in handy. So if you remember or if you have experience with stuff like that, just mention it, okay? And it's gonna help you so much. The next question would be, what is your teaching style? So there are different ways of teaching, especially when it comes to Asian countries. So there are different ways that you can like deliver a lesson to the students. Some people are very creative. They use arts and crafts. You can use songs, clips, videos, anything, okay? So these are to show that you are actually a person that is very creative and that can think outside the box, to make sure that the students are always engaged and always looking forward to coming back into your class, because it's not just about coming into the classroom, teaching, grading, and passing, we move to the next grade. No, like the students need to look forward to coming back into your class. They need to be excited in coming back and learning more, and like they need to know that the students are not gonna be bored. Like they just come one time and they're like, this one, she just talks and talks and talks and there's nothing interesting going on. The students want to sleep, they don't listen, they talk, they are just not engaged in whatever it is that you are teaching them, But then if you show them, actually the students are always going to be engaged, they're always going to be excited and looking forward to coming back into your class, then that looks good on you, boo-boo, okay? So yeah, you can choose what teaching style you like, the ones that work for you, or the ones that you're currently using if you are an English teacher or any teacher of some sort. Tell them about that, share that with them. It helps. The next question would be, what is your class management style or your way of disciplining your students, right? Because there are different ways. I know that some people would think, well, you know what? We do that thing, Don't do that thing. Don't even talk about that thing, because you are not going to do that thing, okay? Don't do it. So here you can talk about probably you use the rewarding system. When your students behave well, you reward them with something, and if they misbehave, you take away the reward. That actually helps the students to be on par. And on some schools, they offer assistant teachers in each and every class, so you can always ask the assisting teacher to help you with managing the class and making sure that the students are on their best behavior, because most of the time it can really, really get hectic and out of hand. So you need to know how to deal with that. And some people, there are different ways to do this thing. What works for you, because it's different strokes for different folks. What might work for me might not work for you. What might work for you might not work for me. So how you keep your class in order. What works for you. What you've tried before and didn't work for you. So yeah, that really does come in. The next question would be, what curriculums are you familiar with? So here, some curriculums are probably you are familiar with teaching phonics, you are familiar with teaching comprehension, you're familiar with oral, you are familiar with reading, you are familiar with writing, whatever, okay? It is what you are familiar with, or what you work best with, or what you know the most, that you are killing it, okay? So you can share stuff like that. It comes in very handy, especially when you are, because it also depends on the age groups that you would be teaching. So if they ask you that, what you've taught, what you haven't taught, what you are good at and what you are not good at. Because what is going to happen is they might ask you to actually give them a demo lesson, which is you showing what you would be teaching. So if you know what you are talking about and they're like, okay, boom, pretend I'm a student. Get the ball rolling, okay, so this is how I do it, and boom, you are done. So I feel like if you know what curriculums you are specifically good in or familiar with, just mention them and have the confidence, okay, and speak about what you know. So yeah. The next question would be, how do you deal with language barrier? Now, with this question is because most Asian countries, they have their own languages. In China, they speak Chinese. Japan, they speak Japanese. South Korea, they speak Korean. So it's not all the time where you would have a teacher with you and you'd have to, like, you know, bring the teacher to always translate everything that you are saying or interpret everything that you are saying to the students. And it's not as easy as you would get into the classroom and say everything from A to Z and they would understand everything from the beginning until the end. You know, there are times where you'd want to explain something and the students would just be looking at you like, what are you saying? Okay. And you'd have to, like, try by all means to explain what you are trying to say. So here, if you are a person that would be using hand gestures or doing drawings, writing stuff, using body language or whatever it is that you feel like is going to work in making sure that you and the students at the end of the day understand each other, go ahead and share it. It's going to come in handy because now it shows that, okay, you are not just the person that's like, okay, I'm limitless. It's like now you become a person that is limitless, because it's not like when students don't understand you, just be there like, and like your class literally becomes like there's no use for students coming to your class because they never learn anything, because when they get there, they don't understand something, you just move on to something else that you feel like they will understand. But rather you stay on the concept, make sure that the students understand exactly what you are trying to say in whatever way that you would be using to try and make sure that they get it at the end, okay? So yeah, these are the questions that I feel like they would ask you. So you can use these questions to actually, you know, try and prepare for your interview, regardless of which country or whatever country you are going to be going to. So without wasting time, thank you very much for watching. And if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section below, or you can actually go on my inboxes where you guys always find me, yeah, and I'll be able to answer all your questions. You guys know I always pull through when it comes to questions with answers. So thank you very much for watching once again. It is what it is. If you didn't eat, then it wasn't all the way from China. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until my next upload, bye.